What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I am teaching you how to paint a tank at home using nothing but spray paint, everything that you can get from Home Depot, Hobby Lobby, or Amazon.com. And in the last video I did this for myself, and I ended up using a sticker because I have a sticker printing business, but I realized not a lot of people have access to a large format printer. Even though I can print stickers for you, sometimes a lot of people want to just do their own DIY with what they have at home. So for this concept, for this video, I decided to create a chopper tank using nothing but vinyl stencils. I figured everybody has access to a Cricut or probably owns a Cricut. It was like a big thing that everyone was buying, these tiny little DIY plotters. And so I'm going to show you how to make stencils so that you can go ahead and literally make these effects on the tank at home, do the whole thing in spray paint, and then professionally clear it so that you have a tank that lasts you for many years. And at the end of it, I'm going to give you details because I'm going to be raffling this tank off. So let's get into the video and check out all the steps. All right guys, so first things first, we are going to prep the tank. If you guys saw the last video, talk about the oils on our fingers. Yeah, you don't want the oils of your fingers, or any oil for that matter. If you're a gearhead and you're working on your bike constantly, you have oil or primary oil or whatever on your hands and it gets on here, it's lubrication, so it'll cause the paint to separate. So quick little isopropyl wash will take care of that. In the last video, I bought the tank off of Facebook Marketplace, so it was already prepped. With this one, I got it from Lowbrow Customs. Well, I got it from my friend Kim, but he got it from Lowbrow Customs, so we just have a pure raw tank. So if you order this at home, this is what it's going to look like. This is what you're going to want to do to get it ready for paint. Doesn't have to be super crazy, but just, you know, make sure everything's nice and clean. Wear gloves, don't get more oil. Petcock is now taped off, and the inside of the tank is also taped off. Now we're going to prime it. Alright, so I made this rig. All I did is literally just get chain from Home Depot, nailed it to my ceiling, and I have a little carabinger clip. And that's what I use to hold it on here. There. And then, you know, I can take care of the tank all the way around, 360. And not have to worry about it on a table where, you know, the ink can smear. So we're gonna go ahead and prime this. We're gonna use Rust-Oleum primer only, not paint and primer combo, just primer, because after we prime it, we're gonna go with the black with the actual paint. So 6 to 8 inches away, do it pretty heavy. I would say a good 4 coats, and that'll, you know, that'll be a good prime. All right, we got our first layer of primer. We're gonna do just, you know, quick flashes. So I'm gonna let this sit for about 10 minutes. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit it with a second coat. Okay, so what I'd love for you guys to see right now is this is the first coat. I just did a second coat on the other side, but before I do this side, you can see that there's some slight grayish, you know, it's because the first coat is so thin. So when you do your second coat, that's when it starts really filling in and starts looking really nice. So don't worry if it looks, you know, not super even. We're doing light coats so that it dries faster, and we're building those layers up so that the primer holds really well. All right, so I've done 4 coats. Now I'm gonna let it sit for an hour. I've been doing some homework prior to running with, this is the 3rd tank I've painted with nothing but spray paint. So I've done some homework. I've been painting murals for a while, and so usually when I paint a mural on the wall, I'm just spray painting, giving it a couple of minutes, and then spray painting over that layer with whatever colors I'm blending into each other. And I never have any cracks or anything like that. Obviously, if you allow every layer to dry a whole day, it's going to come out better if you're patient. But I've been doing homework. So I grabbed a steel plate hit it with primer, let it sit for an hour, hit it with black, let it sit for an hour. No degassing cracks, right? Because when paint is degassing, it's usually 24 to 48 hours, it's expanding the gas. And so if you put a layer on top of the primer and it's expanding, it will crack and break apart the black. So after doing a little bit of homework on a steel plate, seeing as this is going to be a metal tank, I saw no cracking. So I'm gonna let this sit for an hour, get dry to the touch, and then I'm gonna hit it with the black on the same day. I'm gonna do just about probably only 2 layers. You don't really need to dump the whole entire can of black on this because we're just tinting it. It's not going to be a filler, it's not going to be a primer, it's just, we just need it to be black overall because the glitter is going to go on top of that black, and the black is really only used for depth underneath the glitter, so it's not like you need a heavy coat of black. So once I go ahead and do the black, I'm going to dump the whole can of glitter. This is Rust-Oleum glitter. This is essentially the flake, and then this will be a whole can over that black, which is why we don't need that much black to begin with. Once we have the primer, black, glitter, then I'm gonna let the whole thing sit for 24 to 48 hours. Plus I also have to wait for Amazon to deliver me my 2K clear. So that's what we're gonna do in a second, but I'm gonna let this sit for a bit. All right, it has been a few hours. I got really busy with my printing business, leftcosigns.com, if you ever need stickers or decals for your motorcycle or car. But as you can see, it's dry to the touch. It's ready for a black layer. Just to reiterate, black is not something that's extremely important for this project, so we are just going to tint it and just get 1 or 2 layers, so that way it's, you know, it's black enough. I'm using flat black. The purpose why, or the reason why you don't need a crazy strong black base, and it's just for tinting, is because we're going to go over it with the Rust-Oleum glitter. If you were to do this light glitter over white, you're not going to get a lot of dark and light ratio to the flake, and it's just going to look very flat. But doing a black base and then glitter on top, the part where the clear is coming through, you're going to see that black. The hell is that? Oh. Some dude, yo, check this out. Fire. Anyways, when you're doing the clear or glitter clear over the black base, the black is going to shine through that glitter, which is going to give you that depth and that flake, and it's just going to look much better. So just do a black base when you're going to do flake above it. Anyways, let's get this black going while that dude burns out on his super fast scooter. Okay, you know, I gotta say, this black took very well. I'm still gonna hit it with a second coat of black, just so that it's like, you know, really nice and covered, but this black came out really nice and even. All right, well, I'm gonna give it 10 minutes to just kind of like, you know, flash dry, and then I'm gonna go ahead and hit the second coat of black. Then I'm going to let that sit for another hour, and then we will come back with the Rust-Oleum glitter. Once this is applied, then I'm going to put it in my closet and just let it sit for 24 to 48 hours. Once again, I'm waiting for my 2K clear from Amazon. It'll be here in 2 days, so I'm just going to let it sit for 2 days. All right, so the black base has sat for an hour. And so now I'm going to do the glitter. And I'm going to use pretty much all of this can. I did that last time and it looked great. The more flake, the cooler it looks. That's just how it works. Okay, so first day we got primer, we got black base, we got glitter. Tank's looking spectacular.
I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the closet. Once again, I'm letting it dry for like 2 days, and then we'll come back once I have the 2K clear to seal it all. What is up, everyone? It has been a clusterfuck of a week for me at home. It's been a week since I've ordered the clear. Since then, I've lost 2 tripods, my ventilator mask, but I have to keep this on schedule. So I'm gonna raw dog this, which you should not do this at home, but I'm just gonna go ahead and spray paint it. I'm outside, it's well ventilated, it's not the biggest deal in the world, you know what I'm saying? But like, I like to be safe, but for the life of me, I'm working essentially 3 jobs right now, you know? So I got my day job, I have my small business as a printing company, and then obviously I'm editing YouTube, which is actually taking a little bit of a back burner in the last like month or so, just because winter time, there's no chopper shows, it's too cold to ride. I mean, I'm still riding, but there's no like cool events for me to like, you know, create content. So that's why I was like, okay, I'm gonna work on another tank. Anyways, today we're doing the clear. This is Spray Max 2K Clear 3680061. If you're looking for it on Amazon, type that in and you'll get it. This is a 2-part clear, so there are 2 canisters in here. This is the actual clear coat, and then there's the hardener. What we're gonna do is we are going to pop, right? This button came right on here. We're gonna grab this button, we're gonna break the canister. Sometimes you can hear it click, sometimes that's good enough. Well, I'm overly paranoid, so I always hit it a couple times just to make sure that the seal is actually broken. And then we're gonna shake the hell out of it. Now, this is technically good for 48 hours according to the label. I've always been told it's only good for 24 hours because once the air starts hitting the hardener, it starts hardening inside. So, use this right away. We're gonna do multiple coats. I'm gonna use the whole can. Even coats, 6 to 8 inches away. You know, take your time with it. Don't get super crazy. A couple of things is if you start putting too much clear coat on one side, you could get sag. And then it'll start kind of, you know, gravity will pull it down. And it looks like shit. You're gonna have to sand it down and, you know, essentially waste a can. So take your time with the clear coat. Don't worry about fucking doing super light spritz. You know, give it a good, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes flash dry, come back, hit it again. It's releasing gas as you're spray painting it. So always keep in mind and highly recommend to have a heat gun ready. This happened to me with the Elvira tank. I went a little too hardcore with the last spray and it started to get really milky and foggy. And the reason why that happens is because the gas, I didn't let it flash long enough, right? I was just trying to like rush it. And the gas was degassing underneath a layer of the spray paint that I sprayed it on top. So it became foggy and milky. So way to prevent that, way to prevent that is to obviously do light coats and give it that 10-minute flash. But worst case scenario, if it starts getting milky and foggy, hit it with a heat gun, not super close, you know, kind of far away, hit it with small passes, and over time, it's essentially air bubbles, right? It's gonna make it and force it go to the top and dissipate, and you're gonna get rid of that milkiness. So if you have a heat gun, keep it nearby. It's good to have. If you don't have a heat gun, it's either like 20 bucks on Amazon, and there's so many things that you can use with a heat gun in the motorcycle world. So, you know, it's a good investment, right? You can never not have enough tools. But anyways, okay, yeah, making sure. So just so you know, this cap right here, it shoots in a line. And so we want it to shoot like this. That way it's a fan going across, right? Because if it's like this, then you're only doing just a straight line and you're not covering. You would have to, you know, kind of go like this, which is really awkward, and the stem is in the middle. And you know, what you want to do is obviously have the stem being able to reach. It's a straw, right? That's essentially sucking in with the pressure of the canister. So before you start spraying, spray somewhere else, make sure you're getting that fan, and then you can attack it. As always, start here in the middle of the tunnel where it doesn't matter, because this is going to be obviously behind the backbone of the motorcycle. That smells amazing. God, I wish I had my mask, but show must go on. Dude. Okay, so So as I'm spray painting it, because the glitter is a little dull, as it hits it, it starts turning it really glossy and vibrant. And hold on, let me bring you with me. I don't know if you can see the difference. Oh yeah, you can kind of see the difference here, how it's pretty dull, and then this is a little bit, and that's just with one coat. Let's see if you can see it change. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about right there. All right, guys, it's been a few days, and we got the first layer of clear. Dry to the touch, as you can see. It's glossy. Now we can go ahead and start having a lot of fun and creating graphics on top of this clear coat, which is going to be like obviously the main piece of this whole tank. So the concept for this video was how to DIY paint your own tank at home with spray paint and create custom stencils with a Cricut, right? Everybody at home has either a Cricut or knows somebody that has a Cricut. And a plane has to be going over as I talk every time. But a Cricut is just essentially a at-home little mini plotter for crafts, right? I have a real professional plotter that I use to do vinyl graphics on cars for businesses and whatnot. So I am going to be using a professional plotter to create the stencil, but the same concepts can be applied to people that at home with a Cricut. Now, guaranteed most of you, like 90% of you, do not have you know, all the fancy programs that you need to create artwork. So I'm going to show you a extremely dumbed down version on how to make your own art. To my knowledge, and I want to just say off rip, I've never had a Cricut. I've never used a Cricut. I've looked online and seen how people do stuff. Cricut has an app. You basically put a picture into it, hit trace. It creates a vector graphic, and then it plots and makes all of the vector points for you, so that when you send it over to the Cricut to cut on a plotter, it just does it for you, right? It's meant to be extremely easy for, you know, the DIYer at home. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pinstripe just right here, and then I'm gonna lay this piece of paper. Well, you know what? I'm just gonna do it. All right. So let's do this together. So find the end of your pinstripe, which I have no. Here we go. Now, if you've never pinstriped in your life, I'm gonna tell you right now, you are gonna curse like a mofo, because pinstriping is really hard, and I absolutely hate it. But that's okay. We're gonna start with our straight line. Anchor a good section. Stretch this and kind of eyeball it and place it down, and that's a pretty good straight line. All right, now we're gonna you know what, no, I'm gonna bend it. So follow your line. All right, this is probably, I'm probably blocking what I'm doing here, but that's fine. I'm creating another anchor point. So as I'm turning with the pinstripe, start, you know, following the curve. And that looks pretty straight to me. And we're gonna go ahead and pin that. All right, we got a nice little curve, and that looks pretty straight. Now I'm gonna do the same thing over here. I'm gonna anchor a little section and be right on top of the other pinstripe. We're just doubling it down. And then we're gonna curve it. And that right there looks pretty good. Okay. So now we have straight points and then a nice little curve. That looks not that bad, actually. Mind you, I've done this a few times, but in the past I've tried to do certain curves and it just comes out terrible every time, and I just get pissed, and then after like 15 tries I'm like, that's the one. So if this is your first time pinstriping, that's gonna happen to you, and that's okay. So now we're gonna get a piece of paper and a pencil. We're gonna lay this over. Yeah, I want it to be about right there. And we are just gonna you're basically just creating the shape on the paper with the pencil, right? We'll be able to see where the curvature is because it's raised. Okay. Yeah, hell yeah. This is actually working out. This was once again the concept of trying to make something easy as possible for you guys at home to do. But all of this was planned in my head, and I was just like, I hope it works when I start doing it. All right. So I don't know if you can see that. Let me see. Yeah, okay. So you can see the pinstripe right here. Yep. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in with a Sharpie and follow that. But then on this side over here, and actually, yeah, I think right here. That's where I want to end it. Over here, I'm gonna trace some flames. So that way this follows this side right here, and it goes into some flames over here. That's the concept in my head. Let's go ahead and do that right now so you can see what I'm talking about, because maybe this doesn't make sense, but I'm trying to make this as easy as possible. Just follow along, all right? Just go with it. Pinstripe your tank, and then shade the fuck out of it so that you can get the pinstripe impression. Okay, so what I did is I went on Google and I literally typed in chopper flames vector, and that's gonna give you a bunch of generic flames clip art. Go through all of them that you like. I ended up finding this one right here. I was like, okay, I can work with that. All I did was, if you have a Mac, you know, pinch to zoom. If you have a Windows, I believe it's Shift and plus, or like on Mac, it's Command plus, and what it'll do is it'll zoom in for you, right? So anyways, I got that zoomed in. I'm gonna turn this upside down and make it a light board. So you're gonna literally sit here and trace it. And so this is where I want it to end, right? So I'm gonna go a little bit past that. Yeah, a little bit past that right there. And I'm just going to get the basics of the flame. I'm not gonna sit here and worry about really refining it just yet. I'm just tracing. Okay, there, that's all I need. So now that we don't need the laptop, I'm gonna close that, put that away. So what I'm gonna do is, now I'm gonna really outline it. Okay. We're just making like a super hard line so that way we know where, you know, everything's supposed to land. We're gonna do a final trace with a Sharpie. Okay, and then because I need this to stay, I'm gonna do, this is like some creative stuff. We're gonna just blend it like that. See how now the straight line goes in and curves into the flame? We're gonna do that over here too. We're just creating a nice pattern. Cool. So now we have a nice pinstripe that goes right into this. So now we have to outline it. So we're gonna get a Sharpie, which I usually have one around here, but it's okay. My girlfriend works at a hospital and she every single day comes home with a Sharpie from work. So I've slowly collected Sharpies. So anyways, we're gonna outline this. And it's all right to make it thick. That's what we want. Okay, So we're here. We have the outline of our pinstripe that we created on the tank. We trace this flame, and so now you have a pinstripe flame. Now you're thinking, dude, this is hella thick, whatever. We're gonna fill all this in. We're gonna make it an actual real pinstripe. So we're gonna keep everything within the same thickness. We want everything to be exactly the same as it would be in a pinstripe because we are gonna use this to create a stencil. So on the outside it needs to be perfect. On the inside you could be a little thick like this, so you know, it gives you a little point to kind of get away with stuff. All right, so now that we have a thick pinstripe, we're gonna color it all in. All right, this is what we got. What y'all think? This is a pinstripe going into some flames. And we're gonna go ahead and vector this and cut this out of vinyl.
All right, guys, so here I am just showing you guys how to get the stencil to look as best as possible on your iPhone. So what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and just get it as even as possible. Go ahead and line that across, take a good picture. Now once you're in your Photos app, you can go into the settings and start messing around with like all of the different settings. So like we're going to go ahead and pull up the exposure, see how all of the pencil marks now just disappear. So yeah, just start working it, you know, find what you really like. I basically just brought it up super high on the brightness, highlights, everything that's white, just to get rid of all the medium gray marks and keep just the straight black. Because ultimately when you're putting it in the Cricut program, or if you are using an Illustrator program or Corel Draw, the black is what's going to get vectored, and it's just going to get rid of all that white. Once you're done with, you know, editing it, go into the crops and then go ahead and crop out all the excess stuff that you don't need, so that way you just have a straight black and white image that's ready to go to work in the app for Cricut or Illustrator, whatever you use.
All right, so now that we have highly contrast our vector file, I put it into Google Drive. Now I want to say, well, actually I don't know how Cricut works, but when you take a picture of something on your iPhone, it's going to save it as a .heic format, and most of the time, most things don't work with HEIC. So just open your picture, get it nice and centered on your phone, and then screenshot it, and then it'll turn it into just a regular JPEG. That's like the easiest way for you to do it, unless you have a program to do all this stuff. But anyways, that's what I did. Screenshotted it, turned it into a JPEG. Now we have a regular JPEG. So we're gonna go into, I'm using Corel Draw because that's what I use for my Roland printer and cutter plotter. And I'm gonna go into my downloads. And we're gonna go ahead and drop that in here. Now that I have this, keep in mind, you're supposed to be doing this on a Cricut. I don't have Cricut, so I'm just doing this on Corel Draw, but I'm going to do a quick trace, which is essentially what Cricut will do. It's just like a super quick, easy trace. And it's just gonna make like a ghetto version of the trace. And see, now it has a vectored line. So this is the old JPEG, don't need it. I'm gonna go ahead and ungroup all because I don't need the white on the inside. Ooh, actually, run that back. Sometimes it does this and it fucking frustrates the shit out of me. So it created two graphics. It has one black one and one white one. Obviously we need this to be a pinstripe. So we're going to combine. Okay. Now it turned it into just one regular shape. Now this is empty and all I have is a black line. So as you can see, this is what I'm talking about. If you mess up with the Sharpie, you'll get these little bits that it vectors, and it's not going to be perfect. And I can change that. I don't know if you can do that. I hope you can. I can go ahead and go into my points and delete this and change my points so that it's nice and smooth. Or what I can do also is I can just grab all of them, go into my nodes and reduce them. And then it'll automatically make them nice and smooth. This looks a little too skinny, so I can click on that. Actually, you know what, I'll just delete this altogether. There we go. Makes it a little bit more even. I can go and refine all this stuff. I don't know if you can. I'm not even gonna try to like front. See how like I can change these points a little bit better, just so that it like looks a little nicer. Yeah. I'm just cleaning things up because, you know, this is gonna be a giveaway, and so I don't really want to give away like a shit a shit fucking can, right? Or a shit tank. I want to do like a nice job. So that looks pretty even all around. I think that's ready.
All right, so now that we got everything all vectored and ready to go, I put it on my program. I use VersaWorks. That's what runs this Roland. And now it is plotting. So essentially what you just did on your Cricut, when you send it over, now your Cricut should plot. Most Cricuts, I think, if I'm not mistaken, the biggest you can do is like 12 inches. This Frisco style tank from Lowbrow Customs, the graphic is going to be 10 inches, so your Cricut should have more than enough size to go ahead and cut all this stuff. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and let this cut. After that, we're going to go ahead and weed off all the excess vinyl and then add transfer tape so that we can apply it to the tank.
All right, we have plotted. Let's get my tools, and actually, yeah, I always keep a little LED headlamp because it helps me plot shit easier. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get rid of all this excess vinyl because we don't need it now. What do you think, huh? From literally, oh, let me turn this off so I'm not like blinding the camera. Literally from pencil and Sharpie to a fully vectored graphic. Pretty fucking crazy concept. I don't know. When I thought this in my head, I was like, I don't know if this is gonna fly. People are gonna think I'm fucking retarded. But you know, you gotta be a little fucking stupid to do this kind of shit anyways. Let's be fair. Okay, so now I'm gonna go get my transfer tape, which is of course far away from where I actually need it. There's a couple of different ways to use transfer tape. Some people will extend the transfer tape and then slowly with their hand. When it's a graphic this tiny, personally what I do I just stamp it in the middle. Like that. I know I'm wasting a little bit of transfer tape, but it's not a big deal, right? Like this shit is, well, when it comes to a business. If you're buying this shit at Michael's, it might be pretty expensive. When you're buying it as a business in giant fucking hundreds of yards, it obviously gets a lot cheaper. Okay. Now that we have the transfer tape on there, what I recommend is so that you get good adhesion. A hard card. Some of you guys might have soft cards. I recommend getting a hard card. What you're doing is you're just basically really making sure that it sticks to the transfer tape. Now we can cut off all the excess. Alright, time to apply the stencil. Get yourself some tape. What you're going to do is you're going to create a hinge. Now, I like to eyeball stuff. That's me personally. That looks... I'm basically just looking at, does this line look like it is pretty straight with the body of the tank. And does this line, I'm going against this line right here, right? So I want it as straight as possible, and that looks pretty good, to be honest with you. I think I could actually come forward a little bit. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so we're gonna create a hinge. Now that we have a hinge, it's going to fall in the same spot every time. So what we're going to do is we're going to peel. We're going to be very careful because obviously we don't want the hinge to misplace itself. We're going to peel the backing off. Don't peel it all the way. Because if you're right here and oh no, you drop it and your hands are butterfingers and it lands, it's going to land against this and it's not going to fully apply itself, right? Use this as kind of like a fail-safe. So what I like to do is I like to start at the hinge and just kind of hit it evenly. Lightly, nice and smooth. Alright, get it even. You don't want wrinkles. As soon as you start wrinkling, peel it back and start all over. Once you have a good portion here that's already nice and anchored, from inward you want to go outward. So kind of just, you know, little by little. And you can peel back a little bit. I've done this so many times at this point I don't care. I could just fucking hold it. But just that's just for people that, like, if you know you've never fucking applied transfer tape, leave a little bit on there. Okay. There we go. Cool. Now just see with the planes, I'm telling you. Alright. Now go ahead and apply some pressure. Some good pressure. And then rule number 1 when peeling transfer tape, never pull up. Always pull like in a line, because if you pull up, this is going to pull up with it and then you just fucked your stencil. Pull against it like this. Don't pull up, pull flat. Right, there we go. And that, my friends, is a pinstripe and pencil stencil, custom made. I gotta tell you, it's probably the dumbest fucking thing I've ever thought of in my mind, and it actually worked. Alright, so now, you never look at both sides at the same time, so I'm not gonna worry about it being 100% on point. I'm just gonna eyeball, make sure that it looks like it's kind of close. Okay, so it's kind of like right there. Dude, that looks pretty spot on. Let me tell you. Okay, so see, I don't know if you can see right here. I did get a little wrinkle, but that doesn't ruin the line of the pinstripe. It's just a little crinkled in here. That's fine. It's not a big deal. All right, so now that we got everything nice and taped off, I'll put this lace right here. I got these magnets just to kind of hold it in place. Stretch it out a little bit. That should be good enough. Yo, that looks good.
Alright guys, my phone died on me, so I went and did a couple of steps ahead. But it's alright, I'll tell you what I did. So basically, you guys saw me do all this section. All I did was mirror it on this section, which I gotta peel this pinstripe right now. And then all I did, the best way to pinstripe the top part is run a pinstripe down the middle so you know exactly where the middle is. And then just follow the form of where you want to put it. And then go with an X-Acto blade and cut off all the little extra parts. And so now I have this right here. I'm going to be doing a little hot stuff character. And yeah, he's going to be the centerpiece of this tank. So let's go ahead and apply that. Okay, now that we have the black, the stencil, and the parts that I forgot to cover up that I shouldn't have taken out of the stencil in the first place, we're going to go ahead and hit it with this nightshade. This is supposed to be turning your clear lenses on your car into red, so it's very non-opaque, meaning it's very see-through. So when we go over this, it just tints it. Boom, just like that. I haven't decided what I'm gonna do in the front, so that's why I haven't finished the front yet.
Okay, so you guys saw me apply this, right? All I did was hit it with the red nightshade. Now, I pinstriped this pre-hand, put in the stencil, started peeling all the little pieces off so that I could keep the black. I should have kept the eyeballs and the diaper there, so that way I could hit it with the red and then peel it off. Unfortunately, I did peel it off, and then I had to recut just the eyes and the diaper and like very carefully place them back on so that it would cover it so that it wouldn't get spray from the red. Then I did like an overspray of the black, right? You can't really see it. Let me see if I can. I did a Harley Davidson logo in the front. I didn't know what I was going to do, and then I was like, you know what, I'm just going to do a Harley Davidson logo, keep it simple. So now that everything is black, red, stenciled, laced, I did lace right here, and originally I was going to hit red here, but I thought because of this pinstripe and the silver Harley, I was like, I'm going to keep this silver just so that it's a mixture of red and silver everywhere. The last thing I want to do is hit it with the Duplicolor Clear Effects. This is like another glitter clear coat with a rainbow sheen. I've used this many times in everything that I've used. Oh, dude, look at that. Oh my God, just instantly, with just a little bit. I'm gonna use the rest of that can because it's very little. I'm gonna dump it, but just that little bit makes it look so good. All right, everyone, it's been a few days for me since we did all of the fun stuff, lace work, pinstriping. We did the stencil for the hot stuff. I did I don't remember if I recorded it. It's been days, but did a Harley Davidson logo on the top of the tank. Anyways, I'm gonna seal it all right now in 2K clear. We're gonna let that sit for a few days, and then we can start sanding it down to get rid of all the orange peel, because there is going to be some orange peel at this point. And then once it's all sanded down, we'll do a final clear. But for right now, we got to do that clear before the final clear. Once again, 2K clear. Take off the top button. It comes on the cap. Break the seal on the bottom. Ooh, that time I heard it click. Yeah, usually sometimes you don't hear it, sometimes you do. That time I heard it. What I like to do is I just like to hit the plunger button a few times. I originally thought it was a little canister like this, big in here, and then it's a big canister, but it's actually a thin canister that's in the middle. For those that don't know how spray paint works, there's a little straw, right? And there's propellants in here that's pressurized, and so when you hit the valve stem, it forces the propellants to go through the straw up into the valve system and then spray out. So there's a canister that's surrounding the straw in the middle, and that's what actually holds the two-part hardener. So essentially the pressure that's in the can and the propellants are all surrounded in, and when you break this canister, now the hardener is inside the little mini thin canister. It's like this big by like that thick. It's around the straw, and so as the propellants are going into the little mini canister, it's automatically mixing before it goes into the straw, and then it shoots it all together. Pretty fun stuff. I don't know. I'm a dork, and I love finding out how things work. Like that show, How Things Work. I could watch that for hours. It's probably low-level autism, to be honest with you, but it is what it is. Whatever. Autism that paints chopper fucking tanks. Let's get this thing started. All right, guys, it has been a few days. By the way, I just want to say, if you guys fuck with the 5-speed guys, Elijah just literally cut my hair this morning. He did an absolute fantastic job. So if you're in the San Francisco area and you need a really good haircut, shout out to my man Elijah from 5-Speed Cycles. Not only are you supporting the motorcycle company, but you're supporting a dude who's going to build another sick-ass FXR. So I just want to put that out there. That's my man's. Anyways, today we are sanding. At this point, we're done, right? Everything's been painted. We did an initial clear coat. This is just to seal all of this in here. Let me actually check this out against the viewfinder. Oh yeah, right here. So you can see all of that orange peel, right? That all looks like a basketball. And it doesn't look good. It doesn't look bad, but we obviously want an amazing finished product. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna sand this down. I used an entire can. So once you do all of this stuff, and you're gonna seal it with a clear coat, use the entire can, just dump it. Make sure you build it up, because we're gonna start cutting it down, right? Once we cut it down, it's gonna be super hazy, it's gonna be very matte finish, and we obviously want it to be a nice crystal clear, so we're gonna go ahead and clear coat it with the exact same 2K clear coat that we did for this will be the third can. You're gonna need 3 for this project. It's gonna be, well, you've already just seen the video. You gotta understand that I'm filming this usually a week apart from each other, so I forget that you guys just saw the steps like 2 minutes ago. But yeah, three cans of clear, right, to seal the glitter, 1 to seal the fun paint job stuff, and then once we sand it all down, the final one to just make it pop, and that way it's gonna look super crystal clear across the whole thing. Because we are sanding 2K clear, this stuff is like the most craziest toxic it's going to be across the entire project. So I highly recommend get your respirator, get some gloves, right? You guys are a bunch of grimy ass dudes that don't wash your hands. You don't want this stuff on your hands when you're eating later on, touching food. So wear protection. Now, as far as what we're going to be doing with sanding down, we're going to use a 3M super fine sponge. In the last video, I used a fine sponge, and that worked amazing. But I bought a pack. They were like $7, I think, for like 6 sponges, but it was like medium, fine, super fine, ultra fine. Obviously, I used the fine for the last tank. So because I'm poor and cheap and I don't want to buy another fine sponge, I'm just going to use the super fine, but this should be good. Just feeling the grit already, I was like, this is more than enough. So we're going to sand it all down, get it nice, even and hazy, and then after that we're going to clear coat. What you're looking for, think of these orange peels as peaks and valleys, right? Because that's what it is, right? It's basically the glitter that is raised as this 2K clear is self-leveling. What it's doing is it's leveling itself over that glitter, and so it's creating these peaks and valleys to create that orange peel effect. So when you start sanding this initially, what you'll notice is the top of the peaks will get nice and hazy, and then the valleys will still be pretty clear. You'll be able to see the texture, and I'll show you right now as soon as I start sanding down. Make sure you just go all the way down so that it's nice and even across the whole thing, because the more even the clear coat is right now, once you apply that the third layer of clear coat, it's going to come out that much better. All right, so yeah, but don't sand super hard. Like, don't sit there and like really give it some, you know, like elbow grease, because what you're going to do is you're going to burn through that clear, and then you're going to start sanding the actual paint and ruin your job, and then you got to do the whole thing all over again. So just very lightly circle, you know, sponges. You'll see the technique. I mean, I don't gotta sit. You guys can watch and pay attention, but we're gonna do that now, and then we're gonna get going on the project. And I just want you to see what I'm talking about. You see how that haziness right there gives you some parts. The peaks are being hazy, and then obviously all the stuff that's underneath is not. Just keep doing it until it's all evenly hazy. Okay, so that's what you want it to look like. See how the top of that is nice and even? You can see obviously where the orange peel right here is still needs to get worked, but the top of that is nice and even. Once you get that consistency everywhere, this thing's ready. Okay, so now that we have sanded down this tank, as you can see, it is pretty much even all over. I do want to show you this just because I want you to see. I want you to see these mistakes. Look, that must have been like a little pocket of air. Who knows what that is, but I burned through the clear. Luckily, I did not sand the actual paint underneath, but I just want to show you that even with light sanding, even though this is all nice and even, I still burned through it. So it is a possibility. So just be careful, pay attention. And I might have possibly burned in other places, but whatever. Luckily, the paint didn't get ruined underneath, right? It's just the clear on top, and we're gonna clear coat over this, but as you can see, it is even all the way around. So now what we're gonna do is obviously we wanna get rid of all this dust because we don't want it underneath, so we're gonna give it a nice clean bath with isopropyl alcohol. And the reason why we do isopropyl alcohol, you could technically just use water because we're just getting rid of dust, but prior to me handling the tank without gloves, I was touching it, meaning my oils. You could have seen the smudges obviously before I started sanding. So, you know, nothing doesn't hurt to clean. Look at that. Just as soon as something hits, it instantly starts looking super cool. Can you see the yeah. So yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and clean out all that dust and just basically get it ready for the final clear.
Hi guys, we made it to the end of the video. If you followed all of the steps, then you've got this. You know, these things, because they are spray painted, a lot of people in the last video, the comments were like, oh yeah, as soon as gas touches it, you know, this tank is done. And that's not the case, because we are coating it with 2K clear. It's a real automotive clear. This is all sealed in professionally, so you don't have to worry about gas destroying, you know, all of your hard work. But yeah, hopefully, you know, you guys have used this video and have had success with it and created something that you can be very proud of. I'm raffling off this tank. I'm going to do 20 spots at $10. It's going to be going on my Instagram, Left Coast Chopper, so be sure to follow me on there. And you know, with the success of these videos, I'm going to be doing this a lot. You know, it's a lot of fun for me creatively to, you know, create new things. As a result of these videos, I've been able to talk to a lot of really cool professional painters, and they've given me so many ideas for future projects. So I will be coming out with more of these. Really, thanks everyone that's been listening, watching the channels, commenting, liking it, you know, sharing it. I see all those analytics. It really helps my little channel. It gets it out to people that don't know my channel. And hopefully maybe one day I can quit my job and just do this full time. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe. That all helps my tiny little channel. Follow me on Instagram for information and for future raffles. And yeah, I hope you guys like this video, man. I'm really happy with the way this came out. You know, Hot Stuff, totally classic character, great on a chopper. And I can't wait to see this on someone's bike in the future. So I'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace.